Ryan Day believes revenue sharing is good for college football.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, we are back, and welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a Thursday edition of Locked On Buckeyes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, here on Thursday, June 13th, in the year 2024. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast, and today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Revenue sharing is one of those things that's similar to the transfer portal, similar to NIL, similar to recruits being able to take unlimited official visits. It's something that I did not expect to be a part of the sport right now. Now, revenue sharing is not a part of the sport where players can take a part of the revenue that is made by the school, but it's going to be here a part of the sport very, very soon. This is very interesting, a very different and abnormal world we're currently living in college football, in collegiate athletics. And you know what? It's going to keep changing. So if you're someone that's like, oh, I'm not on board with all this, what's going on? Buckle up, buddy, because it's not going to stop anytime soon. This train is going to continue moving and quickly, and it's going to pick up speed, and more changes are coming. And when a change comes, your boy wants to know what power coaches in this sport think about the changes. Nick Saban was one of them, and he's retired, but I still view him as a very powerful figure in the sports world in college football. So I want to know what Saban has to say. I want to know what Ryan Day has to say. I want to hear what Kirby Smart has to say. Now, some of them don't stick like Saban's opinions do and like Day's opinions do, but if you're Lincoln Riley, or if you are Steve Sarkisian, or if you are, oh my goodness, I can't think of the coach of Oklahoma. Herbie said his name all the time when he was a DC. Brent Venables. There you go. I said Herbie. Brent Venables go hand in hand. Some of these coaches I really care about what they have to say, and Ryan Day is one of them. And Ryan Day believes that revenue sharing is good for the sport. And I am not shocked that he said it. It doesn't shock me that Ryan Day is someone that has been an advocate for the players for quite a long time, that believes this is a good step. It is the right step for what's going on right now in college football. He also had this to say about revenue sharing, quote, I think it's the first step in institutionalizing all of this. There's still a lot of things to be figured out, but we're excited about it, end quote. That word excited is not something I think Ryan Day throws around or says loosely, or just puts it out there into a conversation without realizing the weight and the magnitude of that word being inserted with the conversation about revenue sharing. I think he's very good about picking when he uses certain words. Being excited about it is good. It also is a big benefit for the players. Think about this. Players are on, not all, a lot of players, 85 scholarship players, are on scholarship. Full rides. A lot of them are on full ride scholarships. Everything is paid for. You get a monthly stipend, a cost of attendance stipend. There's some other things that Urban Meyer, when he was at Ohio State, he helped put into action. One of them was helping families being able to go to CFP games, or college football playoff games. Day's been influential in this. Urban Meyer has been influential in this. And it doesn't shock me that he's a part of it. What really is kind of shocking to me and makes me pause a little bit is that stuff is happening so quick. Think about college football in the playoff era pre-COVID. Think about what's happened post-COVID. It's very, now we have a smaller sample size and a smaller period of time between post-COVID and pre-COVID and the playoff era. But what we have is, buddy, there's been a lot of change. And a lot of it has been focused around money. And when things get centered around money, eventually somebody might make a very bad decision, or a dumb decision, or whatever word you want to describe the decision that they're going to make that they probably should not make, but they make it anyway. And it does not help the players, does not help the coaches. It is not beneficial for the sport. That's going to happen. Just buckle up and be ready for it. I'm not really a fan of a lot of the things going on right now in college football. I think the portal is one of those things. Okay, cool. It's a thing. Regulate it a little bit more. Okay, what else is out there? Only taking 5 official visits. There was nothing wrong about that. The system wasn't broken. Unlimited official visits. Yeah, what does that mean? Schools are going to pay more money to bring players in to recruit them. Is that really a decision that needed to be made? No. Is it a good decision? Depends on who you ask. For the recruits, some of them want to take 5, 6, 7, 8 visits on somebody else's dime, official visits, that is. Some of them want to do that. Okay, cool. But that part makes recruiting harder. Revenue sharing itself, if I'm a player in college and I can go to a school like Ohio State, get a wonderful education, paid for, be coached by some of the best coaches in the sport, play in one of the best stadiums in the sport, being able to be on national television every single time I play, and really network television, not just cable, network television via CBS, NBC or Fox. Yeah, you're going to have Big T Network, occasionally Peacock only games. I think it's very stupid. I'll say it again. It's very stupid, but this is where we are in the sport. A lot of people are making a lot of dumb decisions, and I don't think revenue sharing is the worst thing in the world. I just think that this is something that really needs to be regulated, not just for college football, but for collegiate athletics as a whole. Now, recently, via the NIL space, players were able to opt in to being in the new video game NCAA Football 25. You could opt in and be in the game, or you could opt in and you could opt out and not be in the game. Quinshon Judkins opted in. I believe he's on the cover of the game. Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis, I do believe, opted in. And Egbuka, I believe, Denzel Burke, I believe, opted in. A notable name that opted out, Arch Manning. Now, when you opt in, you're not only in the game, but there's also a financial benefit for you. Arch Manning opted out. Okay, if you opt in and you're an ambassador of the game, you're helping promote it, you're going to be doing different things that are more of a face for the game, there's more money involved in that. So money is driving a lot of the decisions, and revenue sharing in the thought is not a horrible thing. It is not. I don't think revenue sharing is terrible. The one thing I would say is this. Cool, Ryan Day. Be on board with it. Make sure when it comes to collegiate athletics, you do not go against, you do not forsake, you don't do anything against Title IX. Don't do it. But also realize, if there is a time where a salary cap is put into college football or the sports saying, hey, this is the max amount of money you can spend, don't think about going over it. Because we all have heard about that Ohio State compliance department. They don't play. Oh, it's a whole new world, man. A whole new world we are currently in right now in college football. And it's going to be changing quickly. Maybe too quickly for some. It's happening quicker than I would like. And I got to buckle up just like everybody else. Revenue sharing is here. Ryan Day is on board with it. How does this impact recruiting, though? I'll tell you next. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Gametime makes getting NBA Finals tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets. This show is being recorded in the middle of Game 3 in the NBA Finals. Not sure. Don't know who's even up right now as we are recording. But we do know this. There's one more game at least right now. Going to be one more game in the NBA Finals that could be different depending on the outcome of Game 3. If you're someone in Dallas or in Boston and thinking about, hey, making a last-minute trip to watch the NBA Finals in 2024, make sure you head to Gametime. They have numerous ways to make your ticket buying experience quicker and it'll even take the guesswork out of buying NBA Finals tickets. It only happens with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off your first purchase. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news. Streaming 24/7 on the YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Revenue sharing is one of those things that is still in my mind hard to wrap my brain around. It's almost like a sticker shock. You ever been out buying a car, or you ever been out trying to buy a bed, or you ever been out looking at houses or apartment hunting or whatever it may be, and you see a price tag for something, you're like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That's how much that cost? Whoa. I know for a fact that went up quite a bit in a significant way upwards, because last time I checked, it didn't cost that much. And what are we seeing right now? What are we saying? Sticker shock. When I sell cars, sticker shock is one of those things that happen all the time. Sir, people would ask, why does that cost up? It's a market, bro. I didn't talk like that to them, but I would say, hey, well, depending on the customer, you gotta be a chameleon a little bit. But that's just the market. That's what the market is dictating. And right now, the market in college football is dictating, and really the court is ordering, that revenue sharing is a thing. How does revenue sharing impact recruiting? Honestly, the impact on recruiting, it might not be pretty initially. It might not be pretty at all. Because players are going to be saying, wait, okay, cool. We have heard the impact. We have heard the discussions. We have heard the reports about what athletes are saying right now in recruiting visits. And we even hear some schools in recruiting visits don't even talk about education. Hey, what can we do for you? What can we provide? Get you to the NFL. We can get your son here. We can get your son there. Oh, wait, you want some money? We got these collectives that can help you get some money as well. Oh, great. You want money before you come to school? Okay, we can help you there. Wait. A lot of schools don't even focus on the right things. They don't. And so when it comes to this, a lot of guys are going into visits and saying, oh, how much money can you make me? How much money can you get me? And maybe coaches are promising some things. Maybe coaches are not promising some things. Whatever's going on right now with Jaden Rashada and Billy Napier down in Gainesville, Florida, that is messy. That's an ugly situation. But that's what happens when people feel like they need to dump out millions, yes, millions of dollars for 17 and 18 and 16-year-old kids to commit to a school. What are we doing here? Is this what needs to happen where you're dumping out that much money and promises to get a 16 to 17-year-old kid to verbally commit, not even signing on the dotted line? This is just basically not even a physical handshake. This is, hey, I am going to do something. Just their word. And as we all know, Brian Smith says it, Locked On recruiting analyst, and I'm going to say it too, people change their minds at the drop of a hat. And when you're 16 or 17 or 18 years old, man, stuff change. Your mind changes so much. So the business transaction of that is crazy. But now think about this. There are benefits to revenue sharing in college football that you can say, hey, we can definitely tell you right now, this is what you're going to get. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, redshirt senior year. This is what you are going to get automatically via what we currently have in our pot that's in the salary that can be dumped to the players. This is what we know concretely. Now, there are other ways that NIL is here. And honestly, to be honest with you, this might help NIL be used properly. for what it's supposed to be used for. Because there's a lot of illegal use of NIL right now, when in reality, NIL should not be used as a recruiting tool. But it is. It's supposed to be, hey, these are sponsorships. These are appearances. These are you going to different events. You are providing a service and getting back money for it. That's it. It's a sponsorship. But no, college football had to put this little name, image, and likeness of players are making money off of those three things. Buddy, look, the minute they decided to go against exactly what it is when people quickly realize y'all still playing the game. The game you've been playing for decades, y'all still playing it. How much money do we got? How badly we want this player? Here's a bag. Here's some money. Come on to our school. That's it. Now, there are a lot of pros to revenue sharing, but I don't want to gloss over those. If I'm a parent and I want to know exactly what you can do for me and my son, as I'm going to be a parent here soon, the closer we get to the birth of my son, I'm telling y'all right now, whoo, your boy, it's like the emotions are wild. They go up, they go down. They go up, they go down. Similar to how some players might be in recruiting visits. Wait, mama hears you can do well for my son. Okay, going up. Okay, education piece. We're going to make sure and emphasize education and make sure my son gets a degree. Okay, going up. Okay, wait. He got to wake up at 4 in the morning? Whoa. He got to be busy till 10 p.m.? Whoa. He got to miss Thanksgiving? Whoa. He got to play on New Year's Eve? Whoa, we got you. Whoa. He can't be home on Easter. Now, some of this stuff may not be true, but some of it may be. I'm just throwing different ideas out there. So those are the pros, but some stuff you're not going to like. And if I'm a recruit on a visit and I'm going to sit in there and try to demand a coach, and I don't care if it's Ryan Day, Dino Babers, Dabo Sweeney, don't Brent Venables, don't Steve Sarkisian, don't matter. Kalen DeBoer, don't matter who you are. The fact that some of these recruits are so bold to go in there and say, what can you do for me when I am trying to play for them? First off, that thought right there is really crazy. I'm going to have a meeting with you about me going to your school. Yeah, you want to know what you want. You want to know what they could do for you, yes. But then start to demand some things. When you're trying to go to that place, that is a well-established place of higher education, that is a school that is trying to help you prepare for the National Football League, and you're trying to demand, hey, this is this is my wake-up time, this is the time I go to sleep, this is how much money I need, these are the things I need. Come on, man. I understand trying to demand some things or maybe request some things, but a lot of this stuff has gotten out of hand in a big way. And you know what? I hope it changes. But as society goes and as people go, if it changes, the first change might be for the worse before it gets better, which makes me nervous about the sport that I love, and it makes me still believe this sport needs a governing body or a group of people, an association, you may want to call it, that will govern the sport. Now, granted, right now, there's somebody running the sport. I don't know who it is. It ain't the NCAA, because college football at the FBS level is not a NCAA sanctioned sport. They got rules, though, that college football has to abide by, but it's not a sanctioned sport. But who's calling the shots about the CFP? Who's calling the shots about this? Who's calling the shots about that? Is the TV money running the ship? Is that the captain, or are the schools the captain and the players? Right now, TV money is dictating so much that you might be like me. You don't like it. I don't think TV money should run the sport. But for years, that's what's happened. For a long time, we do stock up, stock down during the season, a couple times throughout the offseason. But we have never played the game of buy or sell, an Ohio State edition of buy or sell. We're doing that next. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen every day. Buy or sell is one of those games that is fun. It's a staple of numerous shows this time of year. Do you buy this thought or do you sell this thought? And let's explain it as we go further into the show. Buy or sell, I got 3 topics. So Ohio State edition. We want to do this more throughout the offseason because I'm getting this stuff from our subtexters. There's a link in the show notes to click to join the Locked On Buckeyes subtext. 14-day free trial, $4.99 per month, $4.99 per month. After that, trust me, join it, communicate with me back and forth, and get some good insight and analysis and updates about your Ohio State Buckeyes. Enough of that. Buy or sell. Do I buy or sell that JT Tuimoloau will have more sacks in the upcoming season than Jack Sawyer? I'm going to buy that automatically. Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. It is not because of Jack being bad. I don't believe Jack Sawyer is a bad player at all. I do think Jack Sawyer is a really good player. The last half of the year, second half of the season last year, he really started to turn the page and really things started to click in a big way. One thing I know about Tuimoloau, though, that boy is determined. That dude is more athletic than Jack Sawyer. That dude in year 4 under Larry Johnson is going to have all the tools, be in the best shape of his Buckeye career. And I am definitely going to buy that JT will have more sacks than Jack Sawyer. Now, this is also something I believe about this very topic, that Jack Sawyer is not only going to be the second guy for having the most sacks in the fall. I don't think he'll be that far behind JT Tuimoloau or Jalen Tuimoloau to be exact, because it's not JT Tuimoloau, it's JT or Jalen Tuimoloau. I do believe, though, that they'll be close, because I do believe you're going to have 2 guys on the outside, and Sawyer and Tuimoloau. The other teams, if they're going up against anybody else, other teams only got one of those guys. And they may not have one of them. They may have a guy that's a little bit closer to them, but they don't have just one guy of that caliber. Ohio State has 2 guys of that caliber, 2 guys that will get drafted. Both could be day 2 at worst picks in the upcoming NFL draft, or maybe at best. I don't know the right way to call it. Sawyer could be a round 3 pick, and Tuimoloau, I do believe, will be drafted higher, could be a second-round pick. If one of them blows up in a big way, one of them could be a first-round pick. I don't think either one's going to get drafted outside of the 3rd round, based off the projections and how I believe they're going to play. But yes, I am buying Tuimoloau will have more sacks than Jack Sawyer. Buy or sell that Ryan Day can recruit his way to keep his job, regardless of what the outcome is in the Michigan game. I sell that. You got to win games. You have to win. If Ryan Day is recruiting in the way that he currently is, and the results do not show up on the field, he's gone. Bye. I don't want to see him go. Well, I don't like somebody being fired. Let's put it that way. I don't want to see anybody. I've been fired before. It is not a fun feeling. I had a meeting with my boss prior to that coming in, and there was kind of an ultimatum. I won't say an ultimatum, but there were some things we discussed that, hey, he wasn't happy. These are things that need to happen. And then all of a sudden, bam, I was up out of town. I didn't like it. It's not a good feeling. Now I was single at the time, and honestly, I lived really close to where I worked, so it wasn't like I had a long journey back home across town. No, nothing like that, but it's not fun. You don't want anybody to lose their money. No. Now Ryan Day has millions. You don't want anybody, still don't want nobody to lose their money and have to go home and tell their wife and tell their kids, hey, I am no longer the coach at Ohio State. Now he could get another job at millions, trust me, but it's still not fun being fired. But no, recruiting can only get you so far. You got to produce on the field. You got to produce in that game against Michigan. And I think Ohio State has a really good shot to get that thing done. Last but not least, buy or sell that 4 Big Ten teams will make the college football playoff. I am selling that. I actually recently was on a podcast upon further review with my guy, Philip Jordan. And Philip lives down, I believe, in Dothan, Alabama. I've been on his show numerous times. And this is a project we did, kind of trying to figure out who we thought was going to be in the playoff in the fall. And right now for the Big Ten, I got locks for the playoff. I mean, absolute locks. Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State are locks to make the playoffs. That's 3 teams. In the SEC, I got 4 teams. I got Bama, I got Ole Miss, I got Georgia, I got Texas. That's 7 teams. In the Big 12, I got 1. That's Utah. That's 8 teams. There's one G5 school that's going to get in. The highest ranked Group of 5 school, that is Liberty to me. That's 9. Then ACC, I do believe will have 2. ACC champ in Florida State is 1, and then Clemson is the other one. That is 11. That leaves 2 teams on my board right now that are, hey, do they get in or do they not? I'm only adding one for context sake for the Big Ten because I don't think really anybody else. I mean, USC might be pushing a little bit. But do I really want to put that and say that's for Lincoln Riley's team out there, them Trojans in LA at LA Coliseum? Right now, I can't do that. I can't. So to me, right now, the 2 teams that are here is the reigning national champion, pesky Wolverines, and then also Notre Dame. If you look at their schedule, I know they're not in the conference, so they can't get a bye. They could host a first-round game. And if you have not been to South Bend, Indiana, it's one of those Midwestern towns that gets cold, stupid cold. Cold. Man, never been a fan. No, I've not been I don't like winters. I don't like going to South Bend for the winter at all. It's at the tip, very, very top border of Indiana and Michigan, so you already know what Michigan is for weather, and I think Notre Dame gets a nod right now. One, Michigan's schedule is not easy, but also number 2, I probably have Michigan realistically having 4 or maybe 5 losses this year. I think at their peak, they'll probably be 9-3. If they're 9-3, they're going to get in. But I easily see an 8-4 or a 7-5 football team. And that's not a knock on Sharon Moore. That is just a very tough schedule. They lost a lot of guys, and I don't know what to expect from the quarterback position. And also, I don't really believe their running back, name escapes me right now, is really going to be that dude right now in the Big Ten. So, no, I think there's 3. Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State are locks. I think the last team in, first team out scenario, last team in is Notre Dame. First team out is the team up north. What do you think about any of this? Do you buy or sell that Tumaloa will have more sacks than Sawyer? Let me know in the comments, or just join the subtext and let me know there as well. What about can Ryan Day recruit his way into keeping his job regardless of what happens in the game against Michigan? I am selling that. What do you think? And then also that I'm selling that there will be 4 Big Ten teams in the playoffs. You may want to buy it. You may want to sell it. Let me know in the comments on this video. Have you heard the news? Big news, just like college football is changing so quickly. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On Plus. Our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You can follow me on X at jstevens07. Send every single email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked On Buckeyes on a Thursday. We'll see you next time.